It's lunchtime at Larry's Country Diner. Hi, this is Keith Bilber. There's always a seat for you. You never know who's going to show up. The one thing I can guarantee you, you're going to have a good time. Now, here's the man behind the till. You don't have to call him Mr. The whole world calls him Larry.
But you can call me Mr. if you want to.
Mr.
Is Ian here? I have a note here that says Ian hasn't paid.
Uh-oh.
So if anybody... Sheriff, would you... He just ran. That's Ian. When he comes back, get him.
Sheriff, do your duty.
Well, the year is 1950. Harry Truman was president. 8 million people now have TV sets, if you can believe that. 8 million in 1950 have TV sets. And the FCC just granted CBS permission to begin broadcasting in color. Thank you, Renee. She just reminded me subtly that I didn't do the promise. Gee, you are so subtle, like a truck running through. Grow in grace and in the knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That is our promise for today. Thank you very much. Truman had federal troops take control of U.S. railroads in order to prevent a strike in 1950. Oh, and if you had the money, you could have a one-piece windshield in your new Cadillac. It was also the year, roll this video, guys.
This
1950.
WSM, Nashville, Tennessee, presenting the Grand Ole Opry. Let her go, boy.
The Grand Ole Opry was first televised for the first time.
Right here, I say, right here and now at the old fairgrounds with one of the greatest names in country music, Roy Acuff.
That was a piece of work, and television was coming to life then, as was the Opry. On the radio, Chattanooga's Shoeshine Boy by Red Foley was selling #1.
He's a great big bundle of joy. He pops the boogie woogie rag, the Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy.
That was also the first country record to cross over to the pop best-selling charts. Hank Snow began a 21-week run at #1 on the Billboard charts. The song was I'm Moving On. It was one of 3 songs that lasted that long at the top of the charts. Some of you will remember the great Brinks robbery. 11 thieves steal more than $2 million from an armored car in Boston. If you remember the headlines from 1950. If you were going to the movies, it cost you 65 cents to see the latest Walt Disney film, which was Cinderella. Comic strips featured Beetle Bailey by Mort Walker, and Charles Schulz introduced us to Peanuts. A new house. The average cost $8,450, average income $3,216. A new car was $1,511. Gasoline was 18 cents a gallon. Cost 3 cents to mail a first-class letter, and if you were going to Harvard, you better prepare for a tuition of $600 per year in 1950. World Series champs were the New York Yanks. Ben Hogan won the U.S. Open. Johnny Parsons won the Indianapolis 500 by going 124 miles an hour. I did that on the way to the show here this morning. I could have won the Indianapolis 500. Cleveland Browns were the pro football champions, and that does it for this this year in history, 1950. Hey, welcome to the diner, folks. We're going to have a good show today. At lunchtime, we always do something, and somebody's bound to drop by. We always look for them to drop by. Hopefully they will. John Conlee. Come in, guy.
Could we go back to 1950? I mean, man. Hey, everybody.
Those were some times, weren't they?
I'm telling you, and I was 4 years old in 1950.
How old was I? I was born in 43. How old did that make me?
You were 7.
I was, thank you.
Well, I was just a gleam in my daddy's eye, Larry. That's all I was.
I'm good with numbers, you know.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
right. You know what? It's fortuitous that you stopped by. That's the biggest word I know. Fortuitous that you stopped by.
If you could only say it now. What does it mean?
I know. Fortunate. I've got something that you did on Country's Family Reunion, and I want to play it now.
Okay.
It has to do with rose-colored glasses, and we're going to play the whole thing because at the end of it, you do something with Jimmy Dickens. Did you guys roll that?
I don't know why I keep on believing you need me when you prove so many times that it ain't true. I can't find one good reason for staying. Maybe my leaving would be the best for you. But these rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth. And they let me hold on to the good times, good lines, the ones I used to hear when I held you. And they keep me from feeling so cheated, defeated, when reflections in your eyes show me a fool. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth. So I'll just keep on hoping, believing that maybe by counting the many times I've tried, you'll believe me when I say I love you, and I lay these rose-colored glasses aside. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth. He's right here.
What year was that?
1978 was the year that became our first big hit record, and put us, eventually here at the Grand Ole Opry. And if I may, I'll tell you what I want to do with them this time. Mr. Acuff got that pair and wore them for me. There's another person in this gathering who is a hero of mine. When I first started taking guitar lessons, his was about the first songbook they ever bought for me. And I would be honored if I could just present these to Mr. Dickens here.
Bring John back. I appreciate that. Back here. Bring back here.
Let's be sure they fit. How about it? Yeah. Oh, yeah! Here's a photographic moment coming up right here. That's great.
Well, possibly you don't look good in them as I did. I'll tell you that right now.
Bring John Conlee back, Dale.
I'll treasure this. Let's get John back out here. Come out here. Come out here, son. John, I'll treasure these, and I want to thank you very, very much. And they'll go among the things that I've collected all these years and that I'll keep forever.
How much fun was that?
Oh, that was great. I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. He is one of my heroes, you know. All the way back when I was taking guitar lessons when 8, maybe 9 years old tops. His songbook was one of the first ones I ever got into, and never dreaming at that time that I'd get to share the Opry stage with him, membership, and I kept the book. I got him to sign it for me, you know, years later. What a great human being.
Del Reeves did a dead-on impression of Acuff.
Of Acuff, yeah, right.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, and I did get to do that with Acuff on the Opry stage one night. Roy would a lot of times stand nearby while you were doing your spot. And so I did Rose. In fact, it was one of those times, if I didn't do Rose on his segment, he would call me back and have me do at least a verse and a chorus many times. And so that's what happened, as I recall, that night. And so I said, okay, I'll do it, but I want you to wear the glasses. And he stood there and wore the glasses while I did the song.
He was a marvelous man.
He was, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's incredible. We do a segment that we call Precious Memories. Bobby Lord is one of those that passed away. Did you know Bobby?
I did.
Bobby did a segment that we had on our Opry Classic show. And we're gonna run that, and then we're gonna get you to sing a little bit later, if you would.
Sure,
will you
absolutely.
do that?
Oh, yeah.
Let's roll the Precious Memories piece with Bobby Lord and Little Jimmy.
My voice being loud, we'll see. Let's you and I sing one together.
All right, let's do it. Like maybe the song that you and I both recorded, okay?
My pappy used to tend my hide out behind the barn.
I remember.
He taught me to be dignified out behind the barn. When he took his strap to me, turned me down across his knee, he sure did hurt my dignity out behind the barn. I got my education out behind the barn. I ain't fooling no siree.
No, siree, passed each examination out behind that barn, but it almost made a wreck out of me. I smoked my first cigarette out behind the barn. That's one day I won't forget, out behind the barn. I got so sick, you should have seen how that tobacco turned me green. Almost died from nicotine, out behind the barn. I got my education out behind the barn. I'm not a fool and no siree, no siree.
Passed each examination out behind the barn, and it almost made a wreck out of me.
One more time.
And it almost made a wreck out of me.
All right, Bobby Lord and Little Jimmy Dickens. Keith, you were saying that there's a television station in Nashville, Channel 4. That was Bobby Lord's daytime show?
Bobby Lord had a show in the morning and then later in the afternoon. He and Ralph Emery kind of swapped places there.
And then he was on the Red Foley Ozark Jubilee thing,
he was
wasn't
a
he?
member of the Opry and had a few hits. Great
Passed
artist.
away about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, great television host too.
And loved fishing.
Oh yeah.
I did his fishing show among many other artists. Yeah, I did that years and years ago. Sure did. Yeah.
We're going to come back in just a minute. Keith, get us out of here for a break, and we'll be right back.
I need to answer some viewer mail, Larry. They want to know, do we have takeout? Yes, we do, but why would you want to? Settle back and enjoy Larry's Country Diner. And as a public service and to get Larry's grandkids on TV, that's Brandon Black, our cereal with a C killer wanted poster for today. I think his crime was Captain Crunch. 3 bowls, no milk, had hiccup for 2 days. Here's Larry Black.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good. You keep coming up with stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
We're going to hire you.
It hits me early in the morning.
We're back with John Conlee at Larry's Country Diner. You were a disc jockey at one point.
I was, yeah, 9 years. Altogether, 7 of the 9 in Nashville. That's what brought me to town, is because I got a job at a local radio station here. And after I'd been here a while, I started writing a little bit. And
you didn't write. You didn't come to town to write.
No, I didn't come to town to do music at all. I came to town simply because I got hired at WLAC Radio. Yeah. I made 2 calls when I was looking to move to to a new radio job. My sister had already moved here. She hyped me about the town, so I called WSM, got a busy signal, called WLAC. I did.
I did too.
Yeah, amazing. Called WLAC.
They hung up on you.
And I got through, and I sent them a tape, and I got hired. And but that's the only reason I moved here is because I got that job. And after I'd been here a while, I started trying to take the hobby of music into a career, and it worked out.
I was in radio, and we used to, if you could get $5 a week more, you'd move.
No, sure.
You'd move across country
Right.
for $5 a week more.
Right.
All right. You work with also Feed the Children.
Yeah, we a little campaign that began by accident, quote accident if there are accidents. We did a song called Busted. We brought it back, essentially. It had already been a giant hit by one of my all-time music heroes, Ray Charles, and other people had hits with it too. But we took it to the studio for fun, and we liked it so much, and everybody else seemed to, that we released it as a single, became a hit for us.
#1.
And years later, while we were doing a show at a fair in California, people started bringing money to me at the stage while I was singing about being broke in Busted. 1 or 2 people came, and then 1 or 2 more. And we ended up that night with nearly $60 by the time we finished the show. And, you know, I tried to think of something neat to do with it besides, you know, going to have a beer party after the show. So we sent it to an organization called Feed the Children, and we've kept it going at all of our shows in the meantime, and we're approaching $250,000 now for Feed the Children, a dollar bill at a time.
Wow.
And we've added a new twist to it. Last year in '08, we added another charity to it. Half of the money that goes in our bucket that we carry around on the road with us still goes to Feed the Children, but the other half we're sending to the benefit of our severely wounded warriors.
Oh,
so
good.
folks
Yes.
are, contributing to 2 great causes at once.
Is there a way that the viewers can participate in that somehow?
Well, you know, certainly you can deal with Feed the Children directly. P.O. Box 36, Oklahoma City is their address.
Okay.
You can go to our
write
website.
that down on our high-class bulletin board over here? We'll get that written down there.
And you can go to our website. Actually, with the Wounded Warriors, we're celebrating, we're sending money to several different projects, including the Wounded Warrior Project, the Wounded Marines. There are about a half a dozen so far. Show of Support, which takes Wounded Warriors hunting and other outdoor activities, you know. So there's a lot of ways to help.
So I need to get both of those websites. The first one, Feed the Children, is what?
Their snail mail address, P.O. Box 36, Oklahoma City. 36.
And your web address?
The website is johnconlee.com. And of course, unlike Earl, I spell my name correctly. I spell my name Conlee.
All right. johnconlee.com.
Right.
All right, we'll have that up. That way we'll have some shots. You're going to sing for us, right? You're going to sing Busted?
Yeah, let's just do the...
We have this lovely microphone.
I know,
for you
I
here.
love that. Let me just jump over there. And
he was taken by that microphone.
And it's the right height and everything.
See?
I didn't even know, nobody measured me. I don't know how they figured that out.
You're the one, as a mortuary, you have mortuary whatever's license, right?
Yes. Are you feeling okay, Larry?
Mortuary license, right?
Mortuary, yeah.
You'll notice, John, first thing he does, he walks up and checks your carotid artery.
He was measuring me. Let's have Busted.
Okay, all right. Played on the record, this guy.
My bills are all due, and the babies need shoes, but I'm busted.
All right, yay!
Cotton is down to $0.25 a pound, and I'm busted. I got a cow that's gone dry, and a hen that won't lay. A big sack of bills that get bigger each day. The county's gonna haul my belongings away, 'cause I'm busted. I called on my brother to ask for a loan, 'cause I was busted. Lord, I hate to beg like a dog for a bone, but I'm busted. My brother said there ain't one thing I can do.
My wife and my kids are all down with the flu. And I was just thinking about calling on you, 'cause I'm busted.
This is where the band would play.
Dude.
Now I'm no thief, but a man can go wrong when he's busted. The food that we canned last summer is gone, we're busted. The fields are all bare and the cotton won't grow. Me and my family's gotta pack up and go. But I'll make a living just where I don't know, 'cause I'm busted. I'm broke. Busted.
All right, all right.
Mr. Camp.
Thank you, John. And get a shot of this, because if you want to help with any of these, with Feed the Children or with the Wounded Soldiers and some of the other charities that John's involved in, go to the appropriate website and make a contribution. That would be cool. That's great. That's great. I asked you a little bit ago when we were playing that video, if you ever sing along with your own songs when you hear them on a radio.
Yeah, I do sometimes, and usually harmony. And of course, I did some of the harmony on some of my records when we recorded them.
Yeah.
I did some of my own harmony. So I usually, you know, when I hear them on the radio or something, I'll break into.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Are you still recording?
I am. We have our own record label, like a lot of other artists. I established my own label a few years back. We have the classic CD out on that label now, which is the first 2/3 of our hits, the original tracks. We have a gospel CD available, first ever gospel project on Rose-Colored Records, of all names. You wonder how I came up with that name.
And you got JohnConlee.com.
Yeah,
I'll be doggone.
I know, it's amazing. And then, but we're working title would be Classics 2. We're going to do the other third of our hits. We've already started it. And we'll put some new songs with that as well. So we hope to have that ready soon.
Is the sheriff going to be able to play on anything?
Probably so.
Trying to get jobs for you, Sheriff.
If he's available. Of course, he'll be here in the diner hanging out, eating stuff, you know.
The symbol of law and order.
Right.
You know, we're gonna come back and get you sing another one if you can.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Minnie Pearl and Rod Brasfield were staples of the Grand Ole Opry. And we always do a little comedy segment. Let's roll that, guys.
On our country show, here is our favorite girlfriend, Cousin Minnie Pearl.
There was a feller grabbed me out there just now and kissed me.
A perfect stranger?
Well, he wasn't perfect, but, I can't afford to be choicy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now, I'll tell you right now, y'all are going to get the idea that I don't think about nothing but kissing, and that's right. I even read a love ballad. It's called The Skunk in the Trunk. The words are real nice, but the air's just awful. I'll tell you the truth, though, about that kissing, Carl. I'm not ashamed the way I kiss. I wouldn't mind putting my lips up against anybody. Which brings me to what I was going to tell you. It's a kind of a sneaky way to get up to it, but I want to make a bet with you.
You do? What kind of bet?
Well, I want to bet that I can kiss you without getting within 3 feet of you.
Oh.
I bet you 50 cents I've got my money right here.
You can't do it, can you?
Well, I'm going to prove it.
You can't
I
do
can
it.
do it.
Oh, I've got
my 50 cents. I bet
got
you
mine.
I can
You
kiss
can't
you
do it.
without
You ain't gonna
getting
get
within
3 foot of them.
Well, you just watch me.
You ain't gonna get in 3
you.
foot of
Yes,
it.
I will, too.
But, Minnie, you got in 3 foot of them.
And there's your 50 cents.
Boy, you a mess, Minnie. What's been going on down there at Grinder Switch League?
Oh, well, I was trying to bring that up. I'm sure embarrassed. I'm mortified.
Yeah, is that right?
That brother of mine. Oh, he just embarrasses me. You know what he done? There's a little old boy, the Orson Tuckles, you know, they live next door to us.
Yeah.
They've got 16 young'uns. She had 16 young'uns all together. Well, not all together. She had them one at a time. Well, they live next door, and that littlest one they've got. Ooh, that's the meanest little young'un I ever seen. You could throw him in the water, he'd float upstream. He'd come by the house yesterday. He had his hand all just clutched up like that, and he said to my brother, he says, see there, I got a nickel in here. That's what my mammy give me if I'd quit saying an ugly word. Then she give me a nickel. Brother said, what was the word? And he told Brother what the word was. Brother said, boy, we ought to go in business together. I've got words that'll get you $5. Ain't that awful? Well, I'm having a good time here, but I've got to go. You see, my feller, Hezzy, and me, we've got a date.
You have?
We're going to play checkers.
Play checkers?
Yeah. You see, the way we play it is, I kiss him, and then he kisses me, and I kiss him, and he kisses me, and I kiss him.
Meanie. Who ever told your feller that was checkers?
I did, ain't I, dog?
Carl Smith there with Minnie. Those are some incredible times.
Oh, yeah, and still funny. Still funny.
Still
Everybody
funny.
in here laughing, you know.
It's interesting. I was talking to somebody about even the Country Family Reunion stuff. They said they watch them over and over and over and over.
Right.
Because the timing of the jokes is incredible, and you laugh at them every time.
Every time.
You know where the punchline's coming.
That's right.
But how do you get inspiration for songs?
Well, I don't write that much. I mean, I wrote Rose-Colored Glasses along with a friend of mine. I wrote Backside of 30.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of other songs in the early times when I was still, before I had a career, before I was traveling all the time, and my time became very, well, I'll have to get back to you on that.
We'll go to a break and we'll be right back. Take us to a break, Keith.
All right, you're
Sorry.
gonna eat all that. Well, Sheriff Jimmy Capps wanted me to mention his favorite dish here at the diner. He loves those Bashful Brother Oswald hot wings. Oh, absolutely. We'll be back. Welcome back to Larry's Country Diner. Larry, did you know some folks drive 50 miles out of their way just to eat here? Others drive 50 miles to avoid eating here.
In any case, they go out of their way.
Yeah,
right?
that's right, and we appreciate it.
John Conlee's our special guest today. Thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Your voice, you're one of those guys that when I was a disc jockey, I loved the sound of your voice, and I loved your music.
Thank you.
I'm a great fan. Has anybody ever identified what that is about your voice? Because it's distinctive. It's very different.
No, and there's nothing I did consciously to make it be what it is now. The only thing I can say, I credit my time in radio for the way I sound when I sing, because I have tapes of my singing prior to my being in radio, and it was a whole different sound. It was a sort of a softer folk sound, if you can imagine. But somehow using my voice to speak on the air all those years changed the way I phrase when I sing, changed the way I use my diaphragm, I suppose, and all that. And so, but nothing conscious, nothing at all conscious.
From the day one when I heard you, it's like you can hear you side by side on the radio, and you always pick out John Conlee.
Right. It's a blessing, that I had nothing to do with it. I mean, I credit God, because it was given to me, and I didn't sit around in some room saying, how can I sound like this?
Yeah.
I don't think
and a lot of the great voices.
Excuse me.
Oh, Lord help us.
I'm
Excuse
tired
me, please.
today.
I have to go over here and see this lady.
I feel like I've been chewed up and spit out this morning.
Can I tell you how you look?
You better not. Best part of my day was over this morning when the alarm went off. I had to get a running start, just go for a walk. I saw John Conlee in here.
Yeah, that's him
I
right
love
over
that
there.
Rose-Colored Glasses. I like that. I like that song a lot.
Thank you.
My husband's favorite song of yours was I Don't Remember Loving You.
Yeah. Wonder what that means.
Personally, mine was Doghouse. He's trying to write songs too, and he's got one I was going to give to you that I thought you might like. It was called "I Still Miss You, Baby, but My Aim's Getting Better."
It's got possibilities.
And I tell you what, I can relate to that Busted song. Homer and me, we're so poor, our baloney don't even have a first name. Speaking of Homer, I went with him to his 60th class reunion the other night.
Yeah.
It was pitiful. But I want to tell you something, I felt so sorry for this girl. I looked over there, and there was this girl sitting up at the bar, and she just kept drinking and drinking and drinking. And I thought, well, I said, do you know who that girl is? He said, had this big old grin on his face. He said, yeah, that's my old girlfriend, and I heard she started drinking when I broke up with her. I said, well, heck, I didn't know anybody to celebrate that long. Homer's something else. Last night I was in there in the kitchen. He said, you know, you want to change positions tonight? I said, well, yeah. You come over here and stand by the ironing board, and I'll come over here and sit on the couch.
Had me worried there, Nadine.
I know. I like to keep you worried.
I tell you what.
Well, he was mad at me last night. He said, where's all that money going I'm giving you for groceries? I said, well, go in there and stand in the mirror. Turn sideways. You'll see it. But, well,
what?
I got to talk to you again.
Nadine, every day you come in here and talk to me about this. What's going on now?
Well, this church bulletin is just getting on my nerves. And I did hear that Lucille and her husband was getting divorced. And I know she's probably got a lot on her. Oh, honey, that's my regular. Thank you.
That's it. You need it.
It's my sugar fix. But they're getting married they're
getting married.
They're getting divorced for religious differences. Mm-hmm. He thought he was God, and she didn't. But
that'll tend to do it.
I think that has something to do with her messing up the bulletin.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something. Look at this. She said, now this is really bad. Our annual church picnic will be held Saturday afternoon. If it rains, it'll be held in the morning.
The afternoon picnic?
Yeah.
In the morning.
Now, how are we going to know that? I mean, some drink from the fountain of knowledge, but I think she only gargles it. And then one more, I'm telling you. She said, Mr. Bradford, you know him. Y'all elected him.
Yeah.
He was elected and has accepted the office of head deacon. We could not get a better man. And Miss Bradford took offense to that.
I bet.
I know.
I bet.
She probably agreed with him, but anyway, I just think y'all need to work on it.
There was only two this time.
Yeah, there's only two. Only two.
She's getting better.
It was short bulletin.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Nadine, I'll work on it.
Thank you.
You work on that.
Yeah, I will. Just leave me alone. Okay.
She's the local church gossip.
Well,
she does a good job at it.
Yeah, really. I want that new song her husband's working on. Check that out.
I'll get those to you.
What have we got next? I done forgot. Oh, we're gonna. We did that. We're not doing that. Okay. I'm gonna wait on your song.
Okay.
The last one, Backside of 30.
All right.
And we always tend to do a gospel segment after Nadine's been here. We try to get it righteous again.
Try to get back in.
Try to get it. She comes from the church, but hey. So let's roll the gospel thing we've got going for us.
I think they.
Yes, sir.
You just wait just a second. I think they're trying to work on it.
They're working on it?
Yeah, they're working on it. Yo, I think it.
It's coming? All right, we'll take it. We'll take it now. We tend to confuse them.
E, you ready?
Billy Walker.
Now on the chorus, everybody sing. When you're lost and undone in this world full of sin, and you can't find any peace in your soul within, and the troubles and the heartaches seem to come without end. Just when you think that there's no way out, Jesus walks in Everybody sing. Jesus walks in. Oh, Jesus walks in. And he breaks the chains of darkness. And he lets the light come in. And gone are your burdens. And life is free again. Well, just when you think that there's no way out, Jesus walks in. When you think you're in a corner and you can't see out from within, and everything is going wrong, and you can't seem to find a friend, and you think old Satan's got you, and it looks like this time he's gonna win. Well, just when you think that there's no way out, Jesus walks in. Jesus walks in, that's the way. Oh, Jesus walks in. And he breaks the chains of darkness, and he lets the light come in. And gone are your burdens, and life is free again. Well, just when you think that there's no way out, Jesus walks in. Come on, band. Oh, Jesus walks in. Oh, Jesus walks in. And he breaks the chains of darkness, and he lets the light come in. And gone are your burdens, and life is free again. Oh, just when you think that there's no way out, Jesus walks in. Little tag now. Just when you think that there's no way out, Jesus walks in. Yeah, and that's the truth.
Ah.
Amen.
Yeah. Billy Walker was a class act.
He was indeed. He was great. Yeah.
We missed so many of them.
Yeah.
We're going to come back and get on the back side of 30 when we come back. Keith, get us out of here.
All right, Larry, you know, we've got that Billy Walker Tall Texan Tea. Let me recommend that. And how about to finish off your lunch? Whispering Bell's Nanner Pudding. All right here at Larry's Country Diner. We'll be back. And welcome back to Larry's Country Diner. Apparently, there's a little problem. Was it the crust, Larry? What's the problem?
Look at this. Can you get a shot of that? There is nothing in here. There used to be something in there. This is Larry's Country Diner, famous apple. I think it's apple. I don't know. I asked Adam to grab a microphone and go over there. Is this the young lady that ate it that way?
Well, yes, I did do that.
No. Why? Why?
Well, you know, I got to watch my figures. So I love your pie, but that crust has got a lot of points in it. So
Points being what?
Points, you know, Weight Watcher points.
Oh, you're in Weight Watchers?
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
What? Do you think I'm a candidate?
Now that's kind of putting me on the spot.
You didn't eat my pie.
I ate the apples out of it. It was excellent.
Now, is that a Weight Watchers thing?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a Weight Watcher thing. You know,
So if you
that's
go
got
under-
a pastry and it's got a lot of points. But the fruit, that's healthy stuff. You know, filling foods.
So you can come into my diner and still eat Weight Watcher conscious.
Absolutely.
Good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I got it out there so I could see it.
Why don't you just get an apple?
She didn't have to come through them double doors like you did.
It's getting rough in here, John.
It is.
You better sing the backside of 30. Can you do that?
I can do that. Let's change the subject.
Let's change the subject quick. Get me out of this, man. We ready?
Ready.
making money at 30 with a wife and a son. Then a short 5 years later, it all comes undone. She's gone back to mama with the boy by her side. Now I'm wine drunk and running with them on my mind. I'm on the backside of 30 and back on my own. An empty apartment don't feel like a home. On the backside of 30, the short side of time, back on the bottom with no will to climb. It's dawn Monday morning, and I just called in sick. I skipped work last Friday to drink this month's rent. And when my friends ask me, Lord, I tell them I'm fine. But my eyes tell a story that my lies can't hide. I'm on the backside of 30 and back on my own. An empty apartment don't feel like a home. On the backside of 30, the short side of time, back on the bottom with no will to climb.
Whoa! Backside of 30. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Excellent.
Thank you. Wow. Easily upgradable to the ensuing decades, I might add.
Yes.
Take it from me.
You can come out with one every 10 years.
Every 10 years, that's right. Meters
You
right.
had a son that was in that served in the war, right?
Yeah, my son Johnny, 4 years in the Marine Corps, went to Fallujah, Iraq twice.
Came home fine?
Came home both times. Took shrapnel the first time over, but luckily minor, and back on duty very quickly. And he's been home now for some months and getting ready to start school. Yeah.
Got hit by a car on the streets of Nashville.
Yeah, came home and got hit by a drunk driver back in the winter. And but could have been devastating. Could have had head injuries, spinal injuries. Did not. He broke some bones in his leg, and we believe that over time he'll have a full recovery. But it has sidelined him for some months.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad he got home. I'm sorry he got hurt here.
Me too. Thanks.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
My pleasure, Larry.
Man, it was fun.
The food is great.
All except the crust.
All except the crust. Well, you know, those darn points. You gotta.
Yeah, that's right. www.johnconlee.com. Go to his website and buy everything he's got on there, and also contribute to the Feed the Children and also the Wounded Soldiers. Is that about it for us? Why don't you get us out of here, Keith?
I'll give it a try.
Thank you, John Conlee.
Thank you, Larry.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all for being here. What a quick lunch hour. Sheriff, time for you to get back out on the highway. That speed trap is awaiting. And we hope you'll join us next time for Larry's Country Diner, where the cameras are always rolling. We don't care.